Good morning, students. I'm Jaya ma'am, and today I will facilitate you in understanding John Keats' famous poem on the grasshopper and cricket, which is known as the poetry of art in your syllabus. It is imperative for every student to know about the biography of the poet in order to enhance a better understanding of the poem. So John Keats belongs to the second generation of the Romantic movement. He was born on 31st October 1795, Moorgate, City of London, United Kingdom. His counterparts were P.B. Shelley, Byron, Charles and Mary Lamb. He died at a very young age of 25 years and 4 months because of tuberculosis. At that time, the treatment of tuberculosis was not invented. Keats' childhood was not an easy one. He lost his parents and siblings at a very young age, and his brother George moved to a different place. He had a romantic relationship with Fanny Burney. They met in 1818, and after that they got engaged. But Keats could not afford to support a wife due to financial conditions. They kept their engagement a secret, and he last saw this lady on September 1820. I have already told you Keats was a romantic poet. Now, what romanticism is? Romanticism does not necessarily reflect the relationship between a man and a woman. Romanticism has some different implications. Romanticism was an artistic, literary, musical and intellectual movement that originated in Europe towards the end of 18th century. In English literature, Romanticism took its lead with the publication of lyrical ballads in 1798 with the joint venture of Wordsworth and Coleridge. Wordsworth and Coleridge was known as late poets, but John Keats belonged to the Cockney school of poetry. What is the Cockney school? The Cockney school refers to the group of poets and essayists writing in England in the second and third decades of 19th century. The term came in the form of postime reviews in Blackwood's magazine in 1817. Though its primary target was Leigh Hunt, but John Keats and William Hazlitt were also included. Keats had to face high criticism during the short span of his lifetime. However, let's come to the characteristics of Romanticism. The predominance of Romanticism is basically nature, a reverence for and celebration of nature. Romanticism provides space for inner recesses of individuals and put high emphasis on egocentrism. Focus is laid on escapism. However, this is not that kind of escapism. It is an escape from the harsh world of reality to a imaginative rainbow world of beauty and dance. As a romantic, Keats was highly sensuous, who laid high importance to the sights and sounds of nature. His life was painful. He sought refuge in nature, which could give solace to his bruised and injured heart. Though he survived for a very short period of time, his works like Ode to a Nightingale, Ode on a Grecian Urn, Ode on Melancholy, and Hyperion earned wide recognition. Again repeating, a sonnet is a poem of 14 lines. Sonnets can be divided into Petrarchan sonnet and English or Shakespearean sonnet. Today, I will not discuss about Shakespearean sonnet, but only about Petrarchan sonnet. Petrarchan sonnet is named after the Italian poet Petrarch. It is a sonnet form, though not developed by Petrarch himself, but by a string of Renaissance poets. It consists of an octave and a sestet. An octave contains the first 8 lines of the sonnet, and the sestet is consisting of the rest of the sonnet, that is, the last 6 lines of the sonnet. The poetry of art is a Petrarchan sonnet. Here you can see the octave contains the high dynamism of the grasshopper to carry on the music of earth without any dearth of energy in spite of the burning heat of the sun. It depicts the picture of sun. The octave depicts the picture of the sun. In winter too, even in harsh cold, the cricket warms the atmosphere with its cozy tone when the snow muffles all the sounds. The poetry of art is never ending under any circumstance. Before going into line by line amplification of the poem, we will first read about the introduction. We will first know about the introduction of the poem along with the summaries of the octave and the sestet, along with the word note section and critical analysis. Let's come to the introduction section. As a romantic, Keats always believes in perennial and everlasting sources of beauty, and this idea is perfectly explicated in his poetry, the poetry of art. The poetry of art emphasizes on the sonorous sounds of nature. I have already told you, Keats was the most sensuous poet among the romantics. So, it's quite natural for him to emphasize on the sights and sounds of nature. However, the sounds of nature here refers to her voice, that is the voice of nature. But the voice is a rhythmic one and it is playful. Poem encompasses a rare unification of beauty of nature in its two contrasting seasons, summer and winter. The seasons of nature, summer and winter, with the different characteristics, are the essential part of the keen coexistence and harmony of the same nature. Nature is culminated by a complacent rhythm, and the music of art is unfading and attains permanence. It is perpetual and perdurable. It is a timeless reality that exists forever. Now we will discuss the octave part. In octave, that means in the first 8 lines, the first sentence starts in a declarative tone. The poetry of art ceases to exist even when all the singing birds lose their energy by the scorching heat of the sun in summer. They take refuge under the shady branches of trees to take rest. The grasshopper, with his excessive dynamism, arrives to recompensate, to replenish the depth of music in nature. It amiably moves from shrub to shrub and reaches to new cut grass areas with its delightful composition. The summer becomes charming with the pleasant music of the grasshopper. The grasshopper is fun-loving and cheerful, taking the lead of summer. Quite tired by making the atmosphere enthralling, he finds himself in some comfort of home with some lovely and refreshing bush. Now let's come to the word notes portion. Poetry of art here refers to the rhythmic voice of art. Faint to lose senses, moan, thrilled, lead, dominant, luxury, opulence or comfort, beneath, under. Let's come to the critical analysis part of the poem. The poetry of art is an ample instance of personification, as poetry is a human quality attributed on earth. So, students, can you remember what personification is? Let me make you remember. Personification is a figure of speech that attributes human qualities or non-human and inanimate objects of nature. Here we can see the poetry of art. Art cannot have poetry. Poetry is a human trait. So, a human trait is imposed on art. It is an example of personification. Though grasshopper is an insect, still the first letter G is placed in capital. He is also personified and he is attached with special importance, as he is depicted as a charming one who takes the responsibility and finds enormous delight in continuing the tune of happiness of summer, the time in which even the singing birds are losing their energy and senses in the sizzling or burning heat of the sun. The rhyme scheme of octave is A B B A A B B A. Let me tell you, the whole poem is written in iambic pentameter. And now, what is iambic pentameter? We'll discuss in some other time. Now, let's see what the sestet part says. The poet reasserts the thematic sentence that the music of bird is constant and undying. Now, an isolated, frost-ridden winter evening is depicted, where silence prevails, but the quiet of the ambience is broken by the song of a cricket. Inspired by the warmth of the stove inside, the icy atmosphere embolden or motivate the cricket to sustain with the music. The ball of the poetry of art has been kept rolling by the paramount tendency of the music played by the cricket. The extreme weather conditions cannot sway the music, and the preponderance of the music brings life to the atmosphere. In drowsiness and in half-slept condition, it seems to a person that the grasshopper is entoning in some grasses. The music breathes the soft murmuring of grasshopper in pleasant summer days. The warmth of the song of cricket is so cozy and gratifying that his song is reminiscent of the pleasant summer days. Students, now open your textbook. We will go to the line-to-line amplification of the poem. See, the first sentence is declarative. The poetry of art is never dead. It means the rhythm that exists in art is unfading. It is permanent. Now, we can see the picture of summer. Let's read. When all the birds are faint with the hot sun and hide in cooling trees. Note the word hot sun. There is a difference between hot sun and warm sun. Hot sun sizzles us, it burns us with its heat. But the warm sun provides us a feeling of comfort and joy. So, here we can easily assert that picture of summer when excessive heat prevails has been depicted. Here it is given when all birds are faint in the hot sun. That makes the birds to lose almost their senses and they are seeking refuge in the branches of cooling trees. That is, they want to save themselves from the excessive heat of the sun. Now, a voice will run. Here, note the word voice. Whose voice? I am coming to that. A voice, it is an instance of personification. I have already told you what personification is. A voice will run from hedge to hedge, will continue to move from hedge to hedge, from bush to bush, from green to green, about the new moon mead. Mead means field and new moon means where the crop has been recently cut, recently trimmed. Okay. Now the poet comes to the point. Whose voice is that? It is of the grasshopper. He takes the lead. Here note the word he. Special importance has been attached to the grasshopper. Generally, in case of insect, it is said it. But here you can see the word he, and you also will note another thing. The first letter of grasshopper, G, is placed in capital. So, he takes the lead. That means he is the central force here in summer luxury. When everything is hot and when everything is scorching, but still here the grasshopper enjoys the situation. He has never done with his delights. His delights are so fulfilling. His delights are fulminating. For when tired out with fun, he rests at ease beneath some pleasant tree. So, after an intense enjoyment, when he feels tired, he just puts himself within some pleasant weed. Weed here means some bush. Pleasant weed. Note the word pleasant. That means everything in nature is beautiful here. Now, the octave part has been completed. I am coming to the sestet part. Students, we have arrived in the sestet part of the sonnet. Here we can see the repetition of the same declarative sentence. The poetry of art is ceasing in never. That means the poetry of art will going to continue forever. On a lone winter evening, here note the phrase lone winter evening. Winter evening cannot be lone. Loneliness is a human attribute. So it is an example of personification. When the frost has wrought a silence. Here also you can find the example of personification. When the frost has wrought a silence, now from the stove there shrills the cricket song. That means the warmth of the stove inspires the cricket to continue the singing. In warmth, in freezing air, in midst of the scathing cold, when everything is silent and discomfort prevails all over, the cricket continues to spread warmth and coziness throughout. The last two lines are very important. Let's go through them. And seems to one in drowsiness half lost. It refers to a person who is in drowsiness. That means in a half-slept condition. In that condition, what happens? It is stated in last line. And seems to one in drowsiness half lost, the grasshopper among the grassy hills. In half-slept condition, he is listening to the cricket song, but the cricket song has that warmth that reminds him of the pleasant days of summer, which is indicated the grasshopper among some grassy hills. So, the cricket is successful to spread coziness and comfort in spite of the uncompromising situation that is prevailing all over. So, what the poet wants to say here is that the poetry of art, the rhythm of art will never cease. The poetry of art will remain unfading, will remain perennial, will remain permanent. And someone will take the charge to continue that rhythm. And it is unstoppable. This is the explanation I have offered to you. You just go through the poem, and in case of any problem, you just get to me through calling or WhatsApp. I'll be glad to answer all your questions. Thank you for your patience, students. Have a good day.